Up in the Black Mountains in Carmarthenshire lies the lake known as Lyn y Van Vach. To the margin of this lake, the Shepherd of Myddvai once led his lambs, and lay there whilst they sought pasture. Suddenly, from the dark waters of the lake, he saw 3 maidens rise. Shaking the bright drops from their hair and gliding to the shore, they wandered about amongst his flock. They had more than mortal beauty, and he was filled with love for her that came nearest to him. He offered her the bread he had with him, and she took it and tried it, but then sang to him, "Hard-baked is thy bread, 'tis not easy to catch me," and then ran off laughing to the lake. Next day he took with him bread not so well done, and watched for the maidens. When they came ashore, he offered his bread as before, and the maiden tasted it and sang, "Unbaked is thy bread, I will not have thee," and again disappeared in the waves. A third time did the Shepherd of Myddvai try to attract the maiden, and this time he offered her bread that he had found floating about near the shore. This pleased her, and she promised to become his wife if he were able to pick her out from among her sisters on the following day. When the time came, the shepherd knew his love by the strap of her sandal. Then she told him she would be as good a wife to him as any earthly maiden could be, unless he should strike her 3 times without cause. Of course, he deemed that this could never be, and she, summoning from the lake 3 cows, 2 oxen, and a bull as her marriage portion, was led homeward by him as his bride. The years passed happily, and 3 children were born to the shepherd and the lake maiden. But one day here were going to a christening, and she said to her husband it was far to walk, so he told her to go for the horses. "I will," said she, "if you bring me my gloves, which I've left in the house." But when he came back with the gloves, he found she had not gone for the horses. So he tapped her lightly on the shoulder with the gloves and said, "Go, go." "That's one," said she. Another time they were at a wedding, when suddenly the lake maiden fell a sobbing and a weeping amid the joy and mirth of all around her. Her husband tapped her on the shoulder and asked her, "Why do you weep?" "Because they are entering into trouble, and trouble is upon you, for that is the 2nd causeless blow you have given me. Be careful, the 3rd is the last." The husband was careful never to strike her